We evangelize together. We want to say a big thank you to Wade, who goes to St. Hubert in Garyville. And Wade has donated a one-time gift of $300.
Wow, thank you.
Wade. All right, an online donation. This is an anonymous donation, $50, and that's easy to do if you would like to do it later today or maybe tonight before you go to bed. ccradio.help takes you directly to our portal, and you can make a safe, secure donation right there without ever leaving the page. Also, Ida from Biloxi, Gabby, you know who we're talking about, A $50 donation. Yep. Ida, thank you very much. In fact, Ida says that I'm a daily listener, even in the Philippines via Facebook.
Yes, okay, yes, I know Ida.
I know
yes.
you knew.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know she was in Biloxi, but yes, I do know her. She's a wake-up regular.
Well, from Biloxi is what it said here. So
awesome.
From Biloxi, yeah, in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah, the southern part of Biloxi.
Brian, you ever been to the Philippines?
I have not. My wife has. She did missionary work over there, but I have not been there yet.
Oh, my.
You see?
Love to go.
Good Lord brought that word up for a reason.
There you go.
So you could give your wife a plug.
Yeah. And there's probably a story there, too. Heidi, we want to say thank you. Heidi goes to St. Elizabeth, and is this right? Pankerville? Can we say that on the radio? Is that allowed?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
A lot of hanky-panky over there.
No, there used to be some car dealer who said, where in the world is Pankerville?
Oh, really?
But, anyway, I know right where it is. Father Matt knows, too. A $100 donation.
Thank
Heidi,
you so much.
Thank you kindly for that. And then finally here we've got Deacon George Hooper from Immaculate Conception in Denham Springs. Deacon George, $100 and issues a challenge to other deacons. Get busy. Help support Catholic Community Radio. All right, down to the studio, Damian Collado, Brian Butler, and Gabby Smith.
Yeah, okay, so in studios, Brian Butler, Executive Director of Dumox Ministries. Hello, good morning.
Hey, it's great to be here, Gabby.
Yeah, okay, I haven't seen you since before COVID, and you are no stranger to drive times.
No, not a stranger.
We used to be, and we'll just all reminisce because we always reminisce. We used to be neighbors on Howard Avenue, right next door to each other. Our studios were right next to Dumox Ministries, and that's how we got to know you.
We used to be neighbors. We used to be friends.
We're still friends. We're still friends. Now you guys are on the North Shore doing great things.
Right. It's been a little bit of a sadness to not be in studio with you guys as often, but we get on the phone every now and then, and I'm grateful to be here today. Good to be with you all.
So I was walking to go get some water and a donut. Thanks, Damien. And I had someone stop me and say, hey, what's Dumox Ministries? So you got to explain what it is. I try to give them a 5-second rundown, but I think there needs to be more explanation.
Right.
So I agree, yeah.
I was in college, senior in college, playing a game of pool with a friend of mine that I was doing ministry with at the parish level. And we started writing this book, and we wanted to make it for teenagers, and we wanted something that would catch your attention and be kind of a sassy name. And I remember that St. Thomas Aquinas had been nicknamed the Dumb Ox. Yeah. And he was nicknamed that by his friends not because he was stupid, but because he was large and quiet. But he was very faithful in following God's call in his life, and he was very pure of heart. And those were things that we wanted to do with young people, and it kind of grew from there. And so even though our name is a little bit of a mystery at first, it's an invitation to learn. That people ask a question, well, what is that? Well, I'm glad that you asked. Now that you've asked a question, there's a moment to learn.
Mm-hmm. So you do theology of the body trainings, and that's how I really got to know you a little bit more. You guys really have not stopped. And then, of course, your Echo camps. Everyone knows about the Dumox Echo camps. Kind of talk about that.
Yeah, so Echo is really our flagship experience, a retreat experience that we started in 2010. And we've been able to do it here around the country and even a little bit internationally, which has been a great gift. And coming up out of the pandemic, everybody went to zero, right? We went from 60 down to zero. And we weren't guaranteed tomorrow, right? Which is true of Catholic Community Radio. You guys weren't guaranteed to make it through the pandemic, and we weren't either. And by God's grace and people's generosity, we came up out of that. And then last year we did 8 Echo retreats, which was the most we'd ever done in our history.
Wow.
And that was really exciting. It's a beautiful experience for teens and young adults, and not just learning the gift of St. John Paul II's teachings in the theology of the body, but integrating it. It's a dynamic experience with a lot of fun and art and music and discussions and prayer and mass and talks and the whole deal. And it's been a really great gift.
Theology of the body, that can be kind of intimidating. I actually didn't know the term until I took a theology of the body class in my religion class in high school at St. Michael High School in Baton Rouge. And we took a whole semester of it. I explained to people essentially what it is.
So John Paul II gave 129 short talks from 1979 to 1984. And those talks were on the nature of what it means to be male and female, created in the image and likeness of God. In fact, theology of the body is, for the nerds out there, is actually the subtitle. It's not actually the title of the work. The title of the work is Man and Woman, He Created Them, which interestingly enough, today is about as controversial a title as you could make. And
right.
he actually told his secretary that this set of teachings was not for that generation, but it was for the next one. And so here we are today, 40 years after that began, and we need that teaching more than we ever have. And not only for young people, but older people as well need to come back to the basics of what does it mean to be man and woman created in God's image and likeness and called to authentic love, and how does that come to be? What does it look like in life? Not just in the theory, and that's our bread and butter, not just systematically teaching it, but giving people an opportunity to lean into the real gift of living that out in relationships.
You know, I'm going to be real with you here. I mean, I didn't know about it until high school when we were flipping through the book. And one of the examples, they were going through music that teens listen to. And they actually took an excerpt of a song that I had on my iPod that I listened to all the time. And I'm sitting there and I felt like it was an examination of conscience right then and there in my religion class. I just listened to the song right before school started.
So, Gabby, let me put you on the spot. What song was it?
What was it?
Yeah.
It was Offspring by Self-Esteem.
Offspring, right? So did you know that I wrote that book?
Did you really?
Yeah.
No, you put me on the spot.
Well, it's so fun because actually
I can't even listen to that song now.
No, but so it's interesting because this all ties into DriveTime and to what Catholic Community Radio does. I was actually, St. John Paul II is my hero. That's not a news flash, but he actually, I want to read a quote. Can I read a quote from John Paul II?
Actually, it was Self-Esteem by Offspring.
Right.
That's what it is. I got it mixed up. That's how much I don't listen to that song anymore.
Yeah, which right. It's not an edifying song, but the reason that we used it in the book was because we were we're connecting the culture and what's going on in the culture to the gospel. And this is what St. Paul did in Acts chapter 17 at the Areopagus. Yeah. And the Areopagus was a spot where in Athens where the Greeks would come and the great ideas would fly, and they were trying to seek truth. They were trying to figure out what was true and what wasn't. Yeah. There was a lot of trials that happened there. And so St. Paul gave a famous speech at that spot. Well, St. John Paul II, speaking about social communication, said this: "The means of social communication are indeed the new Areopagus of today's world, a great forum which, at its best, makes possible the exchange of fruitful, truthful information, constructive ideas, and sound values, and so creates," wait for it, "community." How about that, Jeff?
Yeah.
Right? That actually what's going on here is actually creating authentic community because the truth is at the heart of it, and the truth sets us free. And so he goes on to say that this in turn challenges the church in her approach to communications, not only to use the media to spread the gospel, but actually to integrate the gospel message into the new culture.
Hang on to that thought now.
Yeah,
we're forced to take a break here. So, 855-341-5199 is the number. Give us a call right now and be a part of this community.
Chef John Folse is cooking up shrimp and roasted tomato bisque for St. Vincent de Paul on March 11th. Purchase online and drive through parade style for pickup. This Lenten soup comes in 2-pound frozen packages and serves 4 people. Go to svdpbr.org to get your tickets. That's svdpbr.org. On March 11th, join the soup parade at Our Lady of Mercy Church between 4 and 7 p.m. for pickup. It's a tasty way to support St. Vincent de Paul.
Jerry Christopher Jr. and family, along with his popular band Bag of Donuts, have long been proud supporters of Catholic Community Radio. Jerry has also long helped families and businesses protect their assets and pursue financial goals by finding his clients the best value in auto, home, life, and health insurance, all under the careful guidance of agents with extensive experience. Local and here for you, Jerry Christopher Insurance, 504-259-6138 or on the web at jerrydonut.com. That's 504-259-6138 or on the web at jerrydonut.com.
Get better sleep with a new mattress from Baton Rouge Mattress Outlet, a proud supporter of Catholic Community Radio. providing a selection of brand name mattresses, adjustable bed frames, and Maloof pillows and sheets. Baton Rouge Mattress Outlet, 225-930-5779. 4065 Florida Boulevard, and Jefferson at Housatoo Road. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday, noon to 4 on Sundays. See Mitch and the gang at Baton Rouge Mattress Outlet.
Why should you have a lawn care professional take care of your yard? Hi, this is Zorn with Green Seasons, and here are a few reasons why. The time you would spend outside mowing your yard in the heat could be used towards more important things, such as spending time with family or taking naps. Having a professional take care of your yard gives you one less thing to worry about during the week. If you leave on vacation, your grass will be the same height as when you left it. Another benefit is that you could sell your lawnmower and weed eater. You don't have to worry about changing the oil, filling up with gas, or sharpening the blades. This will also help free up valuable space in your garage for storing essentials. Plus, your grass will look great. Just so you know, the secret is more time with less stress equals happiness. For more information, Green Season's number is 888-353-1971 or on the web at greenseasons.us.
If you're looking for that special and unique gift, be it rosaries, statues, handcrafted art, or jewelry, stop by the Shepherd Staff Gift Shop at Sister Dulcie's Ministry, located on the grounds of Cypress Springs Mercedarian Prayer Center, 17560 George O'Neill Road. Remember, when you shop at the Shepherd Staff Gift Shop, you're shopping with a purpose. Shepherd Staff Gift Shop is on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
The St. Joan of Arc Church Fair is back in Laplace beginning April 1st through the 3rd. Bring the family and enjoy rides, games, a variety of foods, silent auction, and live entertainment all 3 days featuring Faith Becknell, Peyton Falgu, and Cat 6. Saturday, the Reptile Crew will be there from noon until 4. And don't miss the annual cook-off on Sunday. It's the St. Joan of Arc Church Fair in Laplace April 1st through the 3rd. Go to sjachurch.com.
Hi, I'm Chad Olivier, Certified Financial Planner, CEO of Olivier Group. My wife Rose and I and our 4 sons are parishioners of St. George Catholic Church. Olivier Group was founded in 2002 with the goal of helping families with all aspects of financial planning to protect your family. We do this by using a team approach with a personal touch, always acting in the client's best interest. Life by design, not by default. Visit our website at oliviergroup.com.
Cetera Advisor Networks, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC, CWM, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor.
It's Drive Time on Catholic Community Radio. Ignite those phones at 855-341-5199. Or make your online donation at ccradio.help.
That number is 855-341-5199 or ccradio.help. I'm Gabby Smith along with Damian Claudio and the Executive Director of Dummox Ministries, Brian Butler. Hey, Brian.
Hey there.
He joins us. Okay, so we've been getting some comments in the comment section. Matt says, "What's up, Brian? Echo is awesome." And another Matt, 2 different Matts, asks if there is a local Echo camp coming soon.
Coming up this summer. We have 2 of them coming up this summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will link your website in their comments so they can take a look at that. But we were having such a great conversation during the break, but you are going to continue, kind of recap for those who are just tuning in what you were talking about.
Yeah, I was quoting from St. John Paul II, and I was joking, in fact, that I'm rusty in the studio here. I didn't hear this, the music and taper my comments quick enough heading into the break. But John Paul II talked about the need for social communication to be a place of dialogue and exchange of truth, and that when we do that, then it actually creates community. That was the quote I was sharing from a document he wrote called Redemptoris Missio, that this exchange of truthful information, constructive ideas, and sound values creates community. And this in turn challenges the church in her approach to communications, not only to use the media to spread the gospel, but actually to integrate the gospel message into the new culture created by modern communications with their new languages, new techniques, and a new psychology. And so it's kind of a mouthful, but it's like we're not supposed to run away from all this technology. We're supposed to use it for good, and that's what you guys are doing so well. And what I've been such a fan of, and so grateful for, partnership with you and working alongside you, because the gospel needs to reach everybody out there, and you're reaching a lot of people through Catholic Community Radio.
I think it's important that we talk about exactly what you do. Damien, we've had a few questions for Brian, like kind of not putting you on the spot, but like, how are you doing it? In today's world, there are so many, because you're talking to teens. And teens have questions. College students have questions. I mean, there are so many genders that are being bombarded on social media, on TV. What questions do they have? How are they navigating? How are you guiding them to what the church actually teaches through what culture is trying to teach them?
Yeah, so I think sometimes when we hear these really difficult things coming up, if we don't have a background and understanding of the truth of God's teaching, then we get really nervous, and that's understandable. Whenever you have like a question that comes at you that you don't know the answer to or don't know how to articulate it well, then you naturally get nervous. And I think a lot of adults and a lot of parents are actually having confusion on how to speak to their teens about these difficult issues. And these questions are good questions. They're not bad questions. They're actually good questions. And maybe some people are being more honest about it than some of us in the church are. Like, some of us maybe get confused about stuff and just stuff it under the rug and be like, well, it'll be okay. And that's actually not honest, right? So it's healthy to be able to ask good questions. But it's not healthy to go ahead and just put Band-Aids on gaping wounds and call that healing. And I think sometimes when maybe somebody has gender confusion or questions about their sexuality, we're saying, well, just go ahead and do whatever you want, as if that's actually liberation. Or to go ahead and say, call yourself whatever you want. You can decide what your gender is, instead of like anchoring in the truth of reality. And that's a long, hard process. So what we do with teenagers and young adults and adults is to help ground them in the gift of what God has taught, while creating an atmosphere of freedom to be able to ask authentic questions and have dialogue and be okay with the process of disagreeing and learning, right? If we all of a sudden say that we can't disagree, otherwise we're not friends, then we won't have many friends and we won't really have any conversations anymore.
Exactly. Well, yeah. And you're going to live in a cocoon type of world.
Right.
Because everybody's agreeing to the same thing. And I think that's part of the challenge also in today's society and our political world.
Correct.
They live in their own little cocoon and they think that's what everybody believes, and it's not true. And you nailed it when you said truth and love. They have to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And seeking the truth, how are you working from a psychological point of view when someone comes and say, I'm a male teenager and I feel like I'm supposed to be a girl or a woman? How do y'all deal with that? And do you have qualified people on staff to even approach that subject?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I talk about a lot with our team and others is that not many people are qualified to walk with any one person through all of the issues that they have in life, right? We have our specialties. We have our areas that we're better at. And so I encourage adults, and certainly our team takes this approach, is like to make a list of your allies, of the people that are on your team that you can reach out to help you in the process of growth. And I think that when it comes to the ideas of these difficult things, like, yeah, a psychologist, or a good counselor is actually needed to help somebody anchor in the reality of who God made them to be, and watch their confusion slowly, hopefully, dissipate back into agreement with reality. But obviously, this could be an hours-long conversation on that, we don't have that kind of time. But to answer your question, like we do have an array of people that we bring to the table to try to help with those things, and knowing that it's actually a long process. It's not something you do in a quick, even on a retreat. It's like this is a long arc of healing some of the things that have gone awry inside of the human person with God's love, in a way that really brings that truth to somebody, where they recognize it's not just about an argument or about telling me what's true externally, but bringing me that truth in love and relationship, and helping me to slowly, hopefully, more integrate my own life according to the truth.
I think that you're being very brave. I think Demox is very brave with having these conversations, because now you have social media platforms that include things like pronouns, and it's just going to keep evolving. It's just going to we're just going to have to keep learning, okay, the culture's doing this. Okay, how do we respond to this? But what I'm hearing from Domox is love, communication, really no judgment, but you're really just trying to imitate Christ and say, this is what we have, this is what we do, and how can we, even though we disagree, we can still be friends. We can still have a conversation. You know.
We had a young woman actually who came on one of our retreats in the past couple of years, and she came believing that she was a young man, and that's a difficult. The practicals. Sometimes people don't really recognize all the practicals that come along with that are really difficult. You have a real human person. You're not talking about an issue. You're talking about a person who really sincerely is believing something that's completely not true, but they believe it is true. And that's a hard thing in life. If you ever really firmly fix on something that you believe is true and somebody tells you something completely opposite of that, it's very difficult. And so whether or not that was actually rooted in a psychological illness, or as we discovered that week, it was probably rooted in a deep wound between her and her mother, right? And what we did was we helped her to grow in relationship with some girls that week, where she was able to actually foster and have good relationships with other girls. And by the end of the week, was she healed of that gender dysphoria? No. But was she having friendship with other girls her age, and was she smiling? She was. There was some sort of movement of freedom. And, we gave recommendations to her family of how to continue to kind of help her move along. But I think it's the commitment to that long arc of walking with people of compassion is, Pope Francis has called it accompaniment, but accompaniment doesn't just walk anywhere. It's walking in a direction of truth and healing. And we're committed to that.
Yeah. And the truth, I think the biggest challenge is what is true versus what I believe is true.
Right.
Because the people who have certain beliefs that they think they know the truth, but it may not be totally true. And I know I sound like I'm talking in circles, but that's the challenge with not only young people, but I think adults.
Yeah, and
they get swayed from the opinions they hear, and all of a sudden they create their own truth.
And this is the sphere of counseling and psychiatry, actually. If you go ahead and say that the sphere of challenging my own presuppositions is not allowed anymore, the entire field of psychiatry is gone. Because that's what it is. It's about trying to help you conform to what is good and what is healthy. And so if a person believes something, so for example, there's something called BIID, which is Body Integrity Identity Disorder. And that's where a person otherwise healthy believes that there is one of their extremities that is not theirs. Like, this hand is not my hand. They sincerely believe it. Wow. Well, that is a dysfunction within their mind that believes that. And so a good doctor, right, would never let that person walk in the door and say, well, you don't believe that's your hand and we'll cut it off, right? No, because the Hippocratic Oath is to do no harm. And so he has to slowly help that young person to come back into the reality of identifying with their body, which is a long, slow, hard process.
And that's music playing there, Brian.
Yeah.
I heard it that time.
Well, we're having a great conversation with Brian Butler, learning a lot about what Domox Ministries does and more. So to continue listening, please call 855-341-5199, or you can donate online safely and securely at ccradio.help. You're listening to Drive Time right here on Catholic Community Radio.
Create a place for prayer in your home with Corda candles. Inspired by St. Michael, Our Lady of Guadalupe, and more. These Catholic candles are handcrafted with all-natural coconut wax and have custom scents connected to saints and the faith. Bring the light of the saints to your domestic church. Visit cordacandles.com. CORDA candles.com.
St. Joseph Abbey Caskets and Cemetery, just north of Covington, are builders of handcrafted mahogany and cypress caskets and beautifully constructed cremation urns, which can be delivered to the funeral home of your choice. Situated on the peaceful and picturesque Abbey grounds, the Abbey Cemetery offers burial and pre-planning options for cemetery plots and columbariums. Visit stjosephabbey.com to make an appointment.
Hello, this is Louis Prejean. I need your help to spread the word about the Coffee Club. It's only $1 a day, and you get an insulated travel mug. You can even deduct it from your income tax at the end of the year. Sign up today and help us spread God's word. Do it for me, Louis Prejean. Come on, sign up today and get your new travel mug and show everyone you support Catholic Community Radio. Just go to joincoffeeclub.com. That's joincoffeeclub.com.
Join Father Chris Decker and Catholic Community Radio on a spiritual pilgrimage to the Shrine of the Most Blessed Sacrament in Hanceville, Alabama, May 10th through the 12th. The shrine was established by Mother Angelica, and you'll experience firsthand a tour of the shrine, along with a tour of the Pope John Paul II Eucharistic Center. Father Chris Decker will celebrate Mass at the shrine's main church, the Crypt Church, and the Lourdes Grotto. Enjoy a spiritual talk, healing service, reconciliation, and adoration before the second largest monstrance in the world. This will be a spiritual renewal like no other as you pray the Divine Office and Rosary with the nuns of the Poor Clares of Perpetual Adoration. Transportation from Baton Rouge is included, as are most meals. Space is limited, so register today for the pilgrimage to the Most Blessed Sacrament Shrine in Alabama, May 10th through the 12th. Go to ccradio.live. That's ccradio.live.
Security is knowing that your payment was processed, your check deposited, your business handled. At Home Bank, we offer the technology you need to have peace of mind wherever you are. So go on, roam, wander. You have the freedom. With Home Bank's mobile app and account notifications, you'll never have to wonder what's happening with your money. We have the tech you expect and the service you deserve. For over 112 years, we've been good for business, good for life. Home Bank, member FDIC.
This is Chef John Foles inviting you to think outside of the box at White Oak Estate and Gardens. Meet in our gardens or under the outdoor pavilion where delicious food is commonplace. Strategize adjacent to a trickling stream while enjoying breakfast or lunch. Oh yes, we do parties and weddings, but we'd love to earn your weekly business too. White Oak Estate and Gardens, 751-1882, located on George O'Neill Road, right next to Cypress Springs Mercedarian Prayer Center.
Hi, I'm Chloe with Fisher & Sons Jewelers at the corner of West Esplanade and Transcontinental in Metairie, and we are proud supporters of Catholic Community Radio. With a wide selection, we have custom-made jewelry during those special times in the life of any Catholic. From baptismal and First Communion rosaries, confirmation gifts, and that special matrimonial engagement ring, or even a simple but special holy medal for a birthday or anniversary. Fisher & Sons Jewelers in Metairie, where the unusual is commonplace.
It's Drive Time on Catholic Community Radio. Ignite those phones at 855-341-5199. Or make your online donation at ccradio.help. Well, if you're wondering where Johnette, well, I started to say Bankovic, but that has changed, hasn't it? Williams. Williams is Women of Grace is taking off for a few days, so we can come to you here on Drive Time. Good morning. I am Jeff Blackwell, along with Brian Butler in studio with Gabby Smith and Damian Collado. At the bottom of the hour and top of the hour, we try to bring you update, the latest from those who have been calling in or going online and making donations at ccradio.help. Right now, our grand total as of this morning, are you ready for this?
Well, listening.
All right, $2,755.
Awesome.
And we're just getting started.
Yeah, we're only in hour 3, so. And you got a few more. Has Brian made the phones ring a few times?
I think people are, and because like me too, I'm sitting here listening to Brian.
I know.
You have such a wonderful way of ministering and telling us stuff that we're hungry to hear, especially about young people, because frankly, I get totally confused. It's like, should I or shouldn't I say something or not? But I love the Holy Ghost boldness, if you will, of approaching young people and meeting them where they are. And it's a truly incredible Dumox Ministries, Brian. We appreciate that. And we're going to...
Thanks, Jeff.
Sure thing. We're going to hear some more from Brian in a moment. I want to say a very big special thanks to the generous technical help, along with the internet technology, our telephones, and video streaming. We have kind of been doing a behind-the-scenes reworking here, but our dear friend, and they've become dear friends because they just don't say no. They show up, and even when we're not here, they're here. Smith Thomas and Joe Rodriguez. Joe, God love you. I don't know if the man ever sleeps, but they're with Big Networks, and they do a tremendous job. So we wanted to say thank you for the untold hours that you have put in to help us, not only during drive time, but around the clock, 24/7. So we're glad to have Big Networks on our team. So I'm just saying that if you're a business person, you're looking for a little IT help. Oh, these guys, it's like just tell them what you want and then get out of the way. So thank you, Joe, and thank you, Smith. We appreciate your help. All right, so we got the grand total in. The phones have been quiet. We're listening to Brian, and we're going to get back to that. So Damien, Brian, Gabby, take it away.
Brian's going to give out the phone number so the phones will ring.
There we go.
It's been our fault because we have been intrigued. I really have, and we apologize. Hey, listeners, pay attention for a second as far as what Brian's got to say.
I do want to invite all of our listeners, please call 855-341-5199. That's 855-341-5199. There's actually all kinds of cool things, some incentives that we have here for donations of $50. You get a quart of candle, little pack, 6-pack here that we have. I actually have met, at least virtually, the person who makes these candles, and she's awesome.
Anna? Yeah, she's
Anna,
great.
yeah. $250 or more, you get a Miraculous Mother Mary, signed 12 by 18 print by Jacob Zumo, good local artist. Yeah. $500 donation, Queen of the Holy Rosary bracelet from Shepherd's Staff Gift Shop, and any donations of $1,000 or more, handmade crucifix by sacred artist Norman Fosho. And I do know Norman, and he is awesome. And goodness gracious, I wish I could donate that much to be able to get one of those because that's a beautiful piece of art right there.
It is. And that's exactly, not only it is a sacred item, but it is a piece of art.
Absolutely.
Sacred art.
Oh,
and
no, it's the real deal.
He and Jacob, being cousins or cousin-in-laws.
Yeah, I think they're
I mean,
in-laws,
so, it's amazing the work that they do. It's a talented family.
It sure is. Yes, let's not forget about the coffee club because we've had some great new coffee club members today. So when you join the coffee club, well, first of all, it's $1 a day, which equals to $30 a month. And when you join during drive time, you'll get a pack of River Oak coffee or your choice of K-Cups, one stainless steel tumbler with our logo on it, and a Catholic Community Radio Wake Up mug, and a copy of Beautiful Hope, Finding Hope Every Day in a Broken World by Matthew Kelly, which is, I think, a great Lenten book. We keep talking about that, something that I think we could all really need right now to kind of boost that hope. I'm hearing the phone rings.
Oh, they've been ringing.
Yes,
Yep,
855-341-5199 or ccradio.help. So
I'm going to make my donation as soon as we get off the air. But anybody else, please, let's keep this going here. As we were talking about earlier, Catholic Community Radio is not guaranteed tomorrow or the next day or next. There's something that's going on in the world right now called the bystander effect. You all aware about this? So we got crowds of people, especially with the digital media. Something happens, and everybody, since we're all watching, people pull out their phones because they want to catalog it, and sometimes nobody does anything else.
Yep.
Because they're all trusting that somebody else is going to do something.
The George Floyd situation was really the hallmark.
So I want to just make the connection here is don't wait for somebody else to donate. This actually, everybody needs to chip in. If you appreciate this, if this is your companion on the journey. Many people that are driving and or on the go or at work and Catholic Community Radio, they were just always there. No, we need everybody's help to be able to chip in so that we can stay moving along.
Yeah, I mean, Brian, you have been with us for years. your team, Adam Fuseli, Katie Ibarra, I mean, everyone. How's the team doing?
The team's doing great. Yeah, the team continues to grow and thrive in different ways. Adam's actually giving a talk tomorrow night in Slidell. Awesome. Man and woman, he created them, God's Plan for Sexuality at St. Margaret Mary Church. So there's a lot of good things going on. The team's thriving.
Yeah, it's such a great team too, and just such great outreach. You really know how to reach into the community. Talk about, so we were talking before the break about, finding who we really are, who God calls us to be, and what your experiences with that. But you also focus on chastity. You do that as well, and actually was on your social media looking, I think over the weekend, and I saw something about that as well. How challenging is that to talk to teens and really get them to understand? Because it was, when we were even taking theology of the body class in high school, you had the kids in the back cracking the jokes and whatever, because it's high school teenagers.
Right.
So how do you take that seriously with that group?
I think, again, going back to my mentor and champion, of John Paul II, he was constantly meeting people where they are, but inviting them to come up higher than where they are, right? Yeah. So we have to understand that teenagers and a lot of other people in life are going to be immature about certain things, but we meet them where they are and invite them to a next step up in maturity. And I think actually the message of chastity, the authentic message of chastity, is very attractive. Now there's a lot of broken messages of chastity that are really something about what your people in the past maybe thought was a noble idea. Just say no. Just don't do it. Just don't make a bad mistake. And that's not actually a life of virtue, right? The church teaches us that a virtue is a firm and habitual disposition toward the good. So it's about a yes to love and all of its demands. That's what chastity is actually about. It's not about this list of rules of what I'm not supposed to do. In fact, young people, I think, are liberated by that vision of freedom. They want, don't tell me what I'm not supposed to do. What am I supposed to do? How do I step forward into that authentic freedom and to truly love other people? And that's challenging, but I think young people are up for a challenge. So I see the beauty of that. And there's that countercultural message there, too, which is sometimes resonates with a young person. I don't want to just be like everybody else. I want to be able to live a radical life. I want to go on an adventure, and chastity is a life of adventure.
Yeah, I think that, again, it's a challenge, and you're stepping up to the plate and saying, hey, we're doing this, we're talking about this. I mean, you have apps that have articles that are not appropriate for, I don't think, anyone that is not an adult, but the adults aren't on those apps. And that's what culture is trying to throw at them.
You're talking as a mom right now. I heard you.
Okay, well, I even thought
that's true and good.
In my early 20s, I thought this is not appropriate. My little cousins are on this app because I'm friends with them on this app. They should not be seeing this. So even before, but
there is a level of protecting young people, right? And saying okay, we need to protect our especially the younger ones. But then as they start to get older, it's about not just simply protecting them, but teaching them to discern, right? Yeah. From the Latin word discernere, which is to separate. So they have to learn to discern between what is good and what is not good. And part of that is lifting up the things that are good in the culture. Yeah. Even out in the culture, sometimes we just beat the culture to death as if it's all bad, and it's not. There are good things to lift up there. Correct. And we need to name those and celebrate those while also calling a spade, saying what is sin, saying what is not healthy or good, and being willing to try to reject that and push it away in favor of love.
Absolutely. And be able to balance.
Absolutely.
Quite often we find a good app or something, but we get so drawn to it, we're addicted to it.
Yeah.
So we've got to be able to know when to back off, and discernment is a great word to do that in life in general. Yeah. In a lot of things that we do.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, here's one thing we would like you to do. You need to discern and make a phone call right now to 855-341-5199. 855-341-5199 or ccradio.help if you're online.
Yeah, you're listening to Drive Time right here on Catholic Community Radio.
Hi, I'm Patrick Shane, part of the 5th generation of Jacob Shane & Son Funeral Home, and we're proud supporters of Catholic Community Radio. I grew up on the lakefront, went to St. Francis Cabrini and Brother Martin. Now I head up my family's funeral business. Catholic families and clergy trust us to care for their loved ones according to traditions they live by and love. Come visit us in our historic home on Canal Street across from Mandina's, or call us at 504-482-2111. That's 504-482-2111.
Hey, it's Mike from TikTok Cafe, intersection of Causeway and I-10. I crossed the causeway this morning, as I always do, to meet my friend, Vince Liberto. Not many people know this, but the Causeway Bridge was built years ago so that I, Michael, could say the Holy Rosary on the way to work, and so that I could listen to Catholic Community Radio on the way home just to decompress. Hoping you can join me at the TikTok one day. Wishing all a blessed day.
True Blue Water is a proud supporter of Catholic Community Radio. True Blue Water serves East and West Baton Rouge, Livingston, Ascension, and Iberville parishes, delivering artesian, fluoride, and filtered water to your home or work. Remember the spelling of True Blue, T-R-U-B-L-U-E, True Blue Water. For information, visit True Blue Water online at trubluewater.com or 225-313-1299.
Hi, this is Peter Finney, and this is your Clarion Herald Minute. The world's eyes are fixed on Ukraine, and Pope Francis has called for Catholics across the globe to pray and fast for peace. The March 5th issue of the Clarion Herald includes Archbishop Amon's plea for peace. Lent has begun, and the Clarion Herald has a list of Lenten missions and retreats in the Archdiocese, plus an interview with Deacon Danny Flynn about how he uses meatless recipes to keep his large family together. Father Pedro Nunez used to be afraid of public speaking, but he's now one of the most well-known Hispanic Catholic priests around the world with his presence on Facebook and EWTN. Archbishop Alfred Hughes has written his 5th book, Priests in Love with God and Eager to Witness to the Gospel. Archbishop Hughes says despite challenges over the last 2,000 years, the priesthood will continue to flourish. Pick up the Clarion Herald at church this weekend or check out our e-edition at clarionherald.org.
This is Dr. Guy Cresson. With my partner, Dr. Brian Miller, we're at Bucktown Dental Care in the shadows of St. Louis King of France Church in Metairie. My sister Diane Cresson Swing is a hygienist. My brother Russell Cresson is an orthodontist. Bucktown Dental Care, 1569 Lake Avenue since 1980. 504-831-6900. On the web at bucktowndentalcare.com and on Facebook. We would love to have you as part of our dental family. Bucktown Dental Care, guiding you to better health.
Hello, this is Gordon Stevens with the Steamboat Natchez and Riverboat City of New Orleans. Come on down and take a Mississippi River cruise with us and enjoy delicious, freshly prepared lunch, dinner, drinks, and jazz music by the Steamboat Stompers and the Dukes of Dixieland. Did you know that our boats have been blessed by many priests of our archdiocese, including Archbishops Hannon, Schulte, Hughes, and Gregory Amon, and also by Father Joseph Doyle, Father Tim Hedrick, and my uncle, Father Paul Schott. SteamboatNatchez.com, 504-586-8777.
Maryland Campers is a proud supporter of Catholic Community Radio since 2013. Known nationally, Maryland Campers is right here at home and offers RVs, fifth wheels, and motor coaches from names like Cardinal, Flagstaff, and many others. Over 30 acres of RVs and hundreds of makes and models. Sales and service personnel have the experience to serve you. Maryland Campers with 2 locations on I-12 in Ponchatoula and I-12 in Holder. Maryland Campers on the web at marylandcampers.com. It's Drive Time on Catholic Community Radio. Ignite those phones at 855-341-5199. Or make your online donation at ccradio.help.
That number is 855-341-5199, or you can go to ccradio.help. And we have so many wonderful things to give away when you donate today, so let's go through them real quick. All donations of $50 or more, you will get the Scents of the Saints 6-pack sample set by Corda Candles. They smell so good. All donations of $250 or more, you will get a signed 12x18 Jacob Zumo print, Miraculous Mother Mary. All donations of $500 or more, you will get a beautiful jewelry piece from Shepherd's Staff Gift Shop, Mercenary Prayer Center in Baton Rouge. All donations of $1,000 or more, you will get a handmade crucifix by sacred artist Norman Fauché. And it's like a tier level. So you'll get the one that was, if you give $250, you'll also get the candles and the print, and then just build.
Just say if you give $1,000, we give you everything.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, that's what you were trying to say.
I
wasn't sure.
just couldn't even the words weren't coming out.
Well,
so.
somebody played a joke on you, I think, by making this the sense of the saints of the six-pack sample. I mean, come on,
that
was was that you, Jeff? You did that?
No, it's a tongue twister.
It
is.
Well, we got Anna to thank for that.
A lot of alliteration going on here.
Yeah. The sample set. There you go. All right.
Yes. Okay. So, Damien, we again having great conversations with Brian during the break, and we've been asking him the tough questions. But Demox is doing such a great job.
well, I haven't gotten to really get to know Brian till today, and in the process, I'm very curious about what goes on at one of your retreats. So, if you can share with us what takes place, and why is it called Echo, too?
Yeah. So that's the first quick thing is that St. John Paul II, in his teachings of the theology of the body, says that we all have an echo in our hearts of what life was like before the fall. And that echo is something of original innocence, which is that purity that we were made to have from the very beginning. Okay. A lot of times, we just get stuck thinking about how things are today, and things are broken today. Things are still good today, but things are broken. And John Paul says you have a heritage that is deeper than the sinfulness that you've inherited. I used to think that Genesis was naked people and a talking snake, and they ruined my life. That was the whole story. And John Paul spends so much time getting us to the fact that there's so much deep, beautiful things there that we need to recover. And so what we do at an Echo retreat is actually hearken back to that and cast a beautiful vision again of what did God plan for man and woman from the very beginning. Where have things gone wrong? Let's look at our own lives honestly and recognize where things are out of order in our own hearts, and be able to invite Christ into those places to help us to gain strength and freedom and renewal and love. And so we do that through all kinds of things. So our word is integration. It's not about just teaching things. It's about integrating them into our lives. It's one thing for me to tell you a list of things.
Yeah.
It's another thing for you to start integrating that into your own practice of the way that you live. So there will be talks, there will be discussions, there's art, there's a talent show, there's sports, there's games, there's live music, you would have a blast.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. This sounds like fun. Man, if I'd have known this is what your retreats were all about, I'd have gone on retreats years ago. But that's great. But that's something for everyone.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a flourishing. John Paul II would take young people out into the mountains.
That's right.
And have fun with them while also going deep. And that's what we do. We go deep, but we also just have a lot of fun. And it's a great community.
Oh, yeah. I see the pictures. There's tons of kids that go. And, everyone looks like they're having a blast.
And you those that learn teach.
Yeah, so the young adults come first, and they experience a beautiful retreat themselves over the weekend. And then
what age group is young adults?
So college and post-college,
Okay.
So they're experiencing this beautiful retreat themselves, and then on Monday, all the teenagers arrive, and the young adults turn around and become the mentors, and they give away what they received. And so it's two retreats in one. If they can't stay the whole time, there's a young adult, only like a weekend option. But if they can stay, they're able to now give away this beautiful, rich gift. And there's this rushing river of great communal life that happened over the weekend that just continues through the rest of the week. It really is something to experience.
And is there... Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to mention something that I was excited about that I forgot to tell you. You probably didn't even hear this. So we did our very first Echo for married couples in the fall.
Oh, cool.
And a very small retreat, and it was lights out amazing. And I've actually had people in Baton Rouge have been asking me about doing another one. So we don't have another one yet on the books, but that's going to be coming. We're going to be starting to branch Echo into something that's for married couples too.
Where is that? Is that at the Abbey that you guys?
The first one we did actually was in Alabama, but
wow.
But we've got a lot of different ideas and options of where to to do it. And so I'm excited about that.
Are you guys still going international, or is that kind of in the works?
We, everything as it shut down through the pandemic, we were going in England, and and then that was the last international camp that we were doing. And since COVID, we haven't been able to get back out there yet, but maybe in the future.
Well, it sounds like y'all are setting up all across the country, or at least in the Gulf South. Share with us when's the next one, and how does one even get to go? So if it's out of state, am I still allowed to attend?
Sure,
Can
absolutely.
I register?
Yeah, people come from all over the place. So
Okay.
the next one coming up is the next Echo Retreat is actually just for young adults, and that one is going to be north of Atlanta, April 1st to the 3rd. And then after that, we'll have 3 Echoes in the summer. One will be out in Abbeville the first week of June. Then there'll be one in Chicago later in June, and then we come back down to the Diocese of Alexandria for the end of the summer.
So if I attend one of these Echo retreats, what happens after it's over with? That's always the challenge,
That's
right?
a great question, Damien. And so actually it's something we've wrestled with for a long time, because it's a great experience. And then on the last day, I don't know if you've ever been on a great retreat, period.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to go home, right? You
Right.
want to just set up right here. Let's just stay here.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
don't
safe
go anywhere.
here.
Yeah, sort of like Peter. We got some boots.
Set
Let's
up 3
them
tents,
there.
right, and
Let's
stay
put 'em
right
up.
here. And so
Camp out.
we've given people a plan, before in the back of their little journal and stuff like that, of some things that they can do when they go home. And actually this coming summer, we're going to do more of that than we ever have. We're going to give people, an even greater way of taking steps forward and teaching them how to create mini civilizations of love in their own neck of the woods, whether their own school, their own parish, their own region, wherever they're coming from. We're going to do more about that this year than we ever have, of really empowering them and teaching them how to create small little communities where they are.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
And with today's technology, again, Zoom,
Yeah.
you could have meetings through that.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Not that you haven't thought about it.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, you've got leaders from since you're going all across the country,
Yeah.
you can get good input from all facets of life.
No, absolutely.
How wonderful that is. You know?
Yeah, during the pandemic, we actually had a virtual online series with people that were, all over the country, and a few people internationally were a part of that as well, which is cool.
I love that. So where can they go to sign up and kind of take a look at what's going on?
They can go to our brand new website that is echoretreats.com.
I love new websites.
Echoretreats.com, brand new website that's got all the information there. And for people who need help, we've got scholarships available. For people who want to help, they can help give other people scholarships and donate. And so it's a great hub there for everybody to come together. But we are being supported in and through this great mission of Catholic Community Radio. So I just want to go ahead and invite people to please call. At the end of this hour, let's have it be a strong hour, 855-341-5199. Don't be the bystander who doesn't call, who says, I'll do it tomorrow. But go ahead and pull over wherever you are, stop what you're doing for a moment and make a quick donation. It doesn't take long.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can set a world record and tell us how quick you did it. 855-341-5199 or ccradio.help. We would love to have a strong finish to this hour. I just love what you guys are doing. I'm so grateful for it and want to see it continue to flourish.
Thank you so much, Brian. And obviously we support everything that Dumb Ox Ministries does. And we've been, partners from the beginning with it and continue to evolve. And it's so great to see out of the pandemic, we have both come out and said, hey, we're still here. We
Stronger
did
than
this.
ever, actually.
Yeah.
Which is a great blessing, and by God's grace.
Yes, absolutely. My goodness. Okay, that number one more time and how we can donate.
855-341-5199. 855-341-5199. I was looking at Jeff thinking he might appreciate a little jingle if I made up a jingle there.
Yeah, so you and Father Tat, we may have to team
I know,
y'all up.
Father Damien put Father Tat on the side. He's like, Father Tat's going to sing. And I'm like,
Oh,
did
really?
he ask you? No. But he did great, though. It was great. Oh, my goodness. Okay, you definitely want to stay next hour. But first of all, Brian Butler, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Gabby. It's been great to be here.
Such
Great
a
to be with you,
great-
Damien. Thank you, Jeff. Awesome to be with all of y'all today.
Absolutely. Such a
Bless.
great hour. Yes. Okay, Judy Klein, Catholic author, and Kitty Cleveland, Catholic singer and songwriter. They have great things to give away, and I have to say, you want to listen. Whether you're donating $1, $5, or $500, you definitely want to tune in. So they're going to be with us for the 11 o'clock hour. That number is 855-341-5199 or ccradio.help. Stay with us. You're listening to Drive Time.
You can support mothers and their unborn babies just by running or walking. You're invited to Woman's New Life Clinic's Born to Run 5K and half-mile fun run, presented by Miguel Elias Law, on Saturday, March 26th at the New Orleans Lakefront. Born to Run is open to runners and walkers of all ages. It's a fun family event with free food and music for all participants. Go to womansnewlife.com/born-to-run to register yourself or your team.
This is Dr. Gary Levy at Lakeview Veterinary Hospital in New Orleans. As stewards of God's four-legged creation, we at Lakeview Veterinary Hospital are proud to support Catholic radio. I grew up in Lakeview and attended Christian Brothers, De La Salle, and Loyola. My love and respect for all God's creatures led to my 30-year veterinary career here in the shadow of St. Dominic's Church. Lakeview Veterinary Hospital on Memphis Street behind Starbucks on Harrison Avenue. 504-482-2173 or lakeviewvet.com.
Don't miss moments like this on Wake Up.
Any miracles attributed?
Fatima statue tour expert Philip Bellini.
Well, there was actually one here specific to New Orleans when the statue came in 1972.
Really?
There were several times that this particular statue literally wept. But Archbishop Cannon at the time had the statue investigated. Monsignor Omagoso looked at it, had it investigated, and determined that they couldn't explain it because it's a solid wood statue. So why would tears be coming from the eyes? And this Fatima statue was made in 1947, and Sister Lucia of Fatima actually saw the statue and said it was the best likeness of Mary that she'd seen in the statue. Then it was commissioned by Pope Pius XII to travel the world as a pilgrim statue.
Gabby Smith, Alicia Quibito, and Damian Collado co-host Wake Up, weekdays at 7.
Morning drive done right.
On Catholic Community Radio, on our app, or on ccradio.live.
Hi, this is Chef Tony Montalbano from Two Tony's Restaurant in the historic West End area of Lakeview. I'm a proud supporter of Catholic Community Radio. I'd like to welcome you personally to enjoy my family's restaurant and enjoy some of the Creole Italian dishes that have been in my family for generations, like our great local Gulf seafood, house-made soups and sauces, or one of our Sicilian marinara favorites. That's Two Tony's Restaurant out in the West End area, 8536 Pontchartrain Boulevard, where Pontchartrain Boulevard meets the lake, 282-0801.
A&M Container Sales and Rentals is proud to support Catholic Community Radio across the Gulf South and encourages other Catholic business owners to do the same.
A&M Container knows that Catholic Community Radio is where you'll get the news from a Catholic perspective while keeping you up to date on news from the Vatican as well. It's also a great way to stay in touch with the local church community.
A&M Container is your dependable source for on-site storage solutions since 2002.
On the web at andmcontainer.com.
You're listening to Drive Time on WQNO 690 AM and K268DR 101.5 FM New Orleans. And on WPYR 1380 AM and LP 105.9 FM Baton Rouge. ccradio.help. You know what time it is. It's time to celebrate our faith, our churches, our priests, as together we evangelize from our home and around the world.
It's Drive Time.
Drive Time. Pledge any amount by calling
855-341-5199.
Donate online at ccradio.help. Become a Coffee Club member at joincoffeeclub.com. Or you can download our free app and donate that way.
It's Drive Time.
And you're along for a faith-filled ride. Let's go live to our studios on Drive Time. Well, good morning. It is 11:01, and if you're saying, where is Father John Ricardo? Well, we're giving him a few days off so we can come to you and ask for your financial help on what we call Drive Time. But fear not, he'll be back Friday morning Thank you so much for being with us. I'm Jeff Blackwell, and we'll get to the studio in just a minute. I wanted to give you a brief update on some calls that have come in. And in fact, if you'd like to call and make a pledge right now, it is so easy to do. You can dial toll-free 855-341-5199. That's 855-341-5199, and that'll put you directly in touch with our volunteer operators who will take your information and put it on a sheet similar to what I'm holding in my former Protestant hands. And listen, well, let me just share one with you here, and you'll get the idea. First of all, we want to say a big thanks to Pat. And I think I can say her last name because Pat is one of our volunteers at Catholic Community Radio. Pat Wallner goes to Immaculate Conception and made a donation. Well, in fact, it's going to be a recurring donation of $30 a month. Congratulations, Pat. You have become a member of the Catholic Community Radio Coffee Club. And Pat says, in support of the Thanksgiving for the... I should have read this beforehand. For the two priests from Immaculate Conception. That's what she says. So, Father Matthew Graham and Father Taylor, thank you very much. I am sorry I goofed that up, but Pat, we appreciate you. Also, another donation called in, Joy from St. Catherine of Siena, a one-time gift of $50. And Joy says she enjoys listening to Catholic